Alright friends, so far we just talked about only one input, one parameter, and this is something rarely happen in real code. Instead, we usually send a lot of data to functions. So that means we need multiple parameters and multiple arguments. And here it's going to be tricky about the order of the arguments. So now let's see how we're going to do that. Okay, so now back to our example where we have only one input, one parameter. And now I'm going to go and extend it where we're going to say, you know what, I'm going to send both the first name and the last name to be cleaned. And maybe at the end, it should be merged in a full name. So there will be multiple steps. That means we need two informations goes inside the function. We have to change the definition, not only the first name, but also the last name. I'm just going to make the underscore. So now my function accepts two parameters, two values. And of course, we have to do something with those two values. So the first one, I'm going to call it just first and then first name. And I'm going to do the same steps for the last name. So last name dot strip. And we're going to lower the cases as well. And then the last step, we're going to say full name equal first plus, and maybe we're going to add some space to look nicer, and then last. And at the end, we're going to go and print the full name, right? So actually that's it. This is the definition. We accept two values, first name and last name. We're going to go and clean them up, then combine them together and print it in the output. So that's all about the definition. Now, if you leave everything like this and execute, you're going to get an error because Python going to say, you know what, you have here two parameters, you have to pass for me as well two values. So is Maria now for the first name, the last name? It will not work. That's why as well you have to pass multiple arguments. So in the function call, you have to say, okay, Maria, and then comma. It's like the parameters. So you just make a list of values and maybe Smith, and then space. So now let's go and try this out. Look at this. Now we have the full name, Maria Smith, everything lowercase. There is no spaces or whatever, and they are combined together. So you can keep extending your function and sending more data. Like for example, I'm going to say here the country, and maybe the country, I will not edit it at all. I will just print it at the output. I'm going to say from and then country. And now in order to pass for this the value, of course, I have to extend it and maybe say DE. So now if I go and execute it, it's going to say Maria Smith from DE, Germany. So as you can see, it is very simple to extend. All right. So now the next step, we're going to start talking about the arguments, because in Python, we have two different ways on how to send the values to the function. Those ways has some fancy names, like we have the positional arguments and the keyword arguments. So the positional arguments are values passed to the function based on their order, and the keyword arguments are values that are passed to the function by the name of the parameter. They might sound very similar, but actually they have a different behavior. So now let's check the positional arguments. Actually, we already using it. So if you think about the syntax, this is a positional argument. It's all about how Python is mapping those values to the parameters. So we are saying the first value is actually for the first parameter, the second argument for the second parameter, the third for the third. This is what we mean with the positional arguments. So that means the order of the values over here is really important. And this is of course very scary, because if you go and make something wrong, we all do mistakes. So if you put the country first, then first name, last name, and then you go and execute it, you will not get an error, but your data will make no sense. D Maria from Smith. Well, maybe the first part makes sense, but the whole thing is messed up because Python does not care whether the data is correct or not. It's just going to go blindly and trust your order. So the first for the first, the second for second, and so on. That's why it is risky. But there's another way on how to do this by using the name of the parameters in the call. So let me show you what I mean. Now we're going to use the name of the parameter, first name, then equal, and then the first name. It's like you are creating variables and assigning to it values. So you're going to keep repeating the same things. Last name equal, then Smith. Let me just make it smaller. And then country equal to DE. Now, if you go and execute it, you will get the exact same results. Maria Smith from DE. So actually, that's it. This is the syntax of the keyword arguments. Now, of course, the interesting part, if you go and do mistakes and you put the country at the start, and then you go and execute, then everything gonna be fine, because now Python knows which value belongs to which parameter, even if the order makes no sense. It knows, okay, DE for the parameter country, and it's gonna go and assign it really to the country. So if you messed up with the order, then it's gonna be fine, and this is a very big advantage for the keyword arguments. As you can see, this is another way on how to pass the values to the function. Now, if you think about the readability and understanding, of course, the keyword argument's gonna win, because it is really easier for us to understand and which value belong to which parameter. It is really clear. The E is a country, first name Maria, last name Smith. But if you go over here, you have always to keep your eye on the definition. So you're gonna say, okay, of course here it is wrong. Let me just make it correct. So you're gonna keep mapping in your eye. Okay, so the first value is the first name, the second is last name. It is not that easy to read. So the keywords for the readability, it wins, as well for the safety. So of course, if you have a lot of parameters, we are all humans, we're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna be more safe if you use the keyword arguments. But here we come to the annoying point about the keyword arguments. It is way more efforts to write it. So I have to keep writing the parameter names each time I'm writing the call. And of course, the maintaining gonna be really bad if you go and change things like in the definition. You say, you know what, I will just remove the name. I will make it only first. So I'm changing the name of the parameter. I changed my mind. So now not only I have to change things inside the function, I have to go for each call and start as we're renaming the parameter. This is a lot of efforts. And now, of course, you might ask me, which one should I use, positional or keyword? Well, this really depends on the number of the parameters. The rule says like between 2 and 3 parameters, it is totally fine to use the positional arguments because you can manage it. It's only 3 and I hope you will not make mistakes. But if you have more than 2 or 3, then you should go with the keyword arguments. It is just more safe because things gonna go out of your hands and you will not be able always to maintain the correct order for the arguments. So if you have 1, 2 parameters, go with the positional. More than that, go with the keyword arguments. And now to the next point, actually we can go and mix things. So you can go and use both of them in one call. So we call it the mixed arguments. Now, how are we going to do it? We can say clean name. Now, the first one going to be the positional argument. So it can be Maria, but let's make it like with spaces and stuff. And then it is followed by a keyword arguments. So here's going to be the last name, going to be Smith, and then a country. So now if you go and execute it, you will not get any issues and it's gonna work. So actually you can go and mix it, but there is like rules to do that. So the rule says you cannot start with the keyword arguments. So for example, I cannot go and say, you know what, first name equal, and then followed by a positional arguments. So without any name for the parameter, if I go and execute it, I'm gonna get an issue. It says positional argument follows keyword arguments. So this is the rule. You have always to start with a positional argument and then the keyword argument. And of course you cannot go and alternate between them. So you start with positional key and then the last one you say, okay, go back to the positional. You will get an error. So the rule is very strict. And of course you can go and start with 2 positional arguments and only the last one, it is keywords. So this is of course totally fine. Now you might tell me, but why we should do this? Why should mix the arguments? Well, the main reason why you would do this, it is just like styling thing. The thing is, if you have a lot of values, sometimes we have like primary values, the most important one, and then we have like secondary values that are helping the context. If I look to this example, I'm gonna say, you know what? The first name and the last name, those are the primary values. So this is the identity of the person and the most important thing in, let's say, the function. But the country, it is something like secondary. It is like a context, extra details about the person. So for example, if you have like a phone number or an email, all those informations are secondary to the main important information, the first and last name. So it's just like styling thing, a luxury thing to understand what is primary and what is secondary. But from my point of view, I would not go with this mixing because it might confuse later as you like change things. Either go with the positional and the keywords, and I told you about the rule. 2 parameters, go with the positional. More than that, go with the keywords. If you want to do things more fancy, then maybe try the mixed, but I don't recommend you. So now my friends, as you see, all the parameters that we use so far, they all require the value, and if you don't specify value for it, the code gonna break. But the thing is, in real projects, this will not work because sometimes we have parameters that are not that important, or let's say we don't have a value for it. That's why in Python we have something called a default parameter. A default parameter is a parameter that has only a value. If you don't pass for it an argument, a value, Python gonna go and use this default value, and this gonna make our parameter optional. So it is totally okay if I don't pass for it any argument, any value. So let's see how this works. Okay, so now by looking to our example, what could happen is that you have some registration form and you have some optional fields, like for example, the country information. It's totally up for the user whether they enter their country or not. And if they don't enter the country, the code, the program should not break. So that means we have to go and add a default value in case we don't have in the call the country, and we can do that in the function definition. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the parameter over here and add for it a value. Not only the parameter name, but as well a default value, like for example, NA, not available. So that means, my friend, it is very simple. If you see a value inside the definition, then this value is actually the default. So now if I go and execute it, as you can see, we have always at the end DE, because in all of those calls, I'm specifying the value of the country. So that means it is unnecessary for Python to go and use the defaults. But now if I go and let's say, I'm going to call it here default, and I'm going to say here clean name, specify the first value, maybe Kumar and Suresh. Now, the last thing, the country, I will leave it empty. So I hope this is the correct order. But now I will not give the value for the country. So I'm passing here 2 values, but we have 3 arguments. But again, this is totally fine because we have a backup. We have a default value for the country. Now, if I go and execute it, as you can see, we're going to get Kumar Suresh from NA. So this time we didn't get any syntax error because Python has a backup. It has the default value to be used. So actually, it is very simple. Now, of course, things going to get confusing if you do this. Like, for example, you go and remove the default from the country and you give a default for the last name. Like, for example, I'm going to say, if we don't have a last name, then NA. Now, if you leave it like this and then you go and execute, it will not work because it says parameter without a default follows a parameter with a default. So actually you have to pay attention for the parameters. First, you have to list all the parameters without a default value, and only after that you list the parameters with the default. So that means you cannot mix it like this. Have as well to go and now add a default for the country. Otherwise, of course, Python will not understand how to map all those things. Now, if I go and execute it, I'm going to get the same results. And now, even if I don't have the last name and then execute, Kumar NA from NA. So this is totally okay. So that's it actually. This is what we mean with the default parameter. If you like this type of content, then support the channel by subscribing, liking, and commenting. This really gonna help the algorithm to reach nice people like you. If you're still here, then thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.